Welcome to New Moms in Motion. That name was one of my clients gave me that name. It was just like so awesome because I've always been milestones in motion and like obviously big on the milestones part, but as moms are like always moving and we're always needing support and all that stuff. So I am Dr. Denise DeRosa. I'm a physical therapist, a pediatric physical therapist. I've been a peds therapist for like 7, 8 years, something like that. But I've been a physical therapist for 9. And I started with adults in the hospital because I wanted to learn about medicine and like what happens at the end of life and different diagnoses that I just didn't want to pigeonhole myself into just the pediatric world, even though I knew I always wanted to get babies to walk and crawl and roll and on move. But I was happy to have those experiences because I made great friends and I really learned a lot about being a physical therapist. But something kind of changed along the way when I became a mom myself, and I realized how much support I needed. I was nursing, I was a first-time mom, my husband was working nights, and it was just a lot. And I luckily had two really great friends from physical therapy school that had babies on the same time as me, along with my cousin who had twins at that time. And it was just so great because we were in a group text and we were just like, how much are you feeding? When are you feeding? What are you doing here? Like, what about naps? What about clothes? Like all that stuff. And it was just amazing. And some of us are lucky enough to have friends who are pregnant and have babies at the same time, and some of us don't. So this is why I kind of wanted to create this program to build community, build support, and answer questions. I mean, I am not the expert in motherhood. I am not the expert in sleeping and feeding, but I do have 3 kids, and I've been in this new mom world for years now. So I started the business in 2021, and I used to do milestone classes. So I would have moms just with babies come and we'd all like sit in a circle and talk about what's going on with baby. And everyone was kind of about the same age. So everybody got to share what was going on and then share answers and share support. And it was just lovely. And I just kind of wanted to replicate this here with this. Um, so that's it. So I themed out everything because I feel like when I used to do milestone classes, there was main two topics that everyone would always ask about. And the number one thing would be sleep. And I'm pretty sure that's what new moms Google the most is baby sleeping, right? Because we just don't know. We were never moms before, especially the first time moms. And even when you have more than one kid, the kids could be different. So it's kind of like you think and then, the second one is so different from the first. So we're going to talk about sleep today. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is when you're pregnant, you're not really sleeping a lot, maybe the whole pregnancy, maybe just towards the end. Your body is kind of prepping you to wake up in the middle of the night with baby because baby's born and they're not supposed to sleep 12 hours. They're not supposed to sleep 8 hours. They sleep maybe 3 to 4 hours at a time and then they wake up to feed because baby's stomach is literally the size of their fist. Look at your little baby's hand, like it's so small. And then you're trying to put ounces into baby with a super small belly like that. So only so much fits. And you have to kind of find that happy medium by what is too much and what's too little. And then sometimes they're a little more hungry and sometimes they're a little less hungry. So just keep that in mind that baby will wake up to eat in the middle of the night. So sleeping is not going to be like sleeping 8 hours as a new parent is not really going to be possible unless you are bottle feeding and you have a partner who's going to share the load with you. My nursing moms, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you will be waking up and you will not be sleeping. And that's something really hard to hear because we've been independent women up to this point. Go to sleep when we want, sleep as long as we want, get up, work, get up, do whatever you got to do. And now your life is completely, and you'll have to wake up and you're on someone else's time. And this is something that was really hard for me at first because I was like, I just want to sleep. I'm so tired. I'm recovering from my cesarean section. And, I had to talk with my partner to say, you need to get up in the middle of the night and help me lift her up and latch her on, all that kind of stuff. So number one, ask for support. Because people aren't just going to know you need support. Um, they're not just going to guess it. And you might need to have a conversation with somebody to help you with that nighttime getting up in the middle of the night. So that's number one thing I want to talk about. All right, so number two, this is like the main thing that I've learned with 3 kids, how to get your kid to sleep longer stretches, is you have to have a daytime routine, and you need to follow it. So you're going to say, no, I can't go here and do this. I can't do here and do this. Or, you plan to do the sleep training days that you're home. The daytime routine is going to be everything. Waking up, baby, around the same time every day. I'm talking a 15-minute window. So you want to let's just say you wake up at 7, wake up at 6:45 or 7:15, but 7 o'clock, baby is up. Baby has bottle in their mouth or a breast in their mouth right away. You're feeding right away at 7. Then, you can, so there's different sleep trainings. This is also something I want to talk about. I'm not the sleep expert, but I know enough about the different ones. And that's just kind of what I wanted to bring to you guys here today. There's taking care of babies. I don't know. She's a sleep person. There's full feedings. That's another one that I learned about. There's baby wise, and there's 12-hour sleep in 12 weeks. So there's 4 different kind of, if you need more help, or you could decide which program is best for you. As a nursing mom, the best one that I found is I kind of mixed between 12 hours sleep and baby wise. And baby wise followed a method which was eat, play, sleep. Eat, play, sleep. Eat, play, sleep. And then there's a book. You guys can download it. It's Baby Wise, very simple. And you follow them, and that kind of helps you how to stretch and how to do this and that. But the number one thing with all of these programs is daytime routine. If you follow the same daytime routine, the nighttime will follow, and sleep will get better. So you wake up at 7, you feed, you play, take a little nap. 10 a.m., wake up, eat, play, sleep. Eat, place, and you just continue that till 7 p.m. when you put them down for the night. But 7 to 7, like if you're trying to get 12 hours sleep, guys, it's not gonna be possible in the first few months. But getting a longer stretch, like 5, 6, 7 hours may be possible by a few months. So that's what you want to kind of aim for. So that's my story about daytime routine. Okay, bedtime routine is another thing. You want to kind of at 7 o'clock, you decide like 6 o'clock, you're going to start your bedtime routine. Bath, cream, brush hair, quick massage, little stretches. People have all these things that they do. Put their pajamas on, read a book, nurse or bottle, and then bed. And you put them in with the lights. You close, like it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you follow that same routine. That's going to be your top thing. Because then baby knows, like, baby comes out of the womb, they don't know anything. They think they're a part of you, right? They were in you for so long. They come out and they're like, I don't know this world. I don't know what's happening. But building routine, and especially doing the same things, helps them understand. And then they know, oh, okay, it's bedtime. I got to sleep a longer stretch here. So daytime routine, nighttime routine. Okay, so remember I just said about the eat, play, sleep. You want to make sure you're feeding during the day, like in the light. That's a trick I learned once. You really want to nurse or feed baby like when it's light out, because if you wake them up to feed at night, then they're going to wake up to feed at night. Now, if you're trying to build weight and you're trying to get them back to birth weight, or they need to be heavier, or whatever the case may be, like follow your pediatrician's advice. I have my own opinions about waking up babies. But I do know that, if you wake them up to feed, then they're going to keep waking up to feed and build that routine. So if that's something you have to do to build weight, then you do what you got to do. But then just know after you're going to have to switch into a new routine. Sometimes I haven't really heard of any babies just like naturally doing these things. if your baby does that, please let me know what you're doing so I can do the same thing and share with people. Okay. One more thing with the nighttime sleep thing. So if you're waking them up in the middle of the night to feed because you're trying to build weight, increase weight or whatever, that's fine. But if they wake up and you're not trying to do that and you just want them to get better at sleeping at night, one tip that I have for you is to not change the diaper unless you really have to. When you change the diaper, it really wakes them up. You turn the lights on, it really wakes them up. So if they wake up in the middle of the night and you don't want them to be awake, keep the lights off. Try not to pick them up, but if you have to, you have to. Don't change the diaper, but if you have to, you have to. I mean, we've all had those blowouts in the middle of the night, right? You got to do what you got to do sometimes. And then daytime windows. Yeah, daytime windows. So during that play, tummy time, side lying, play with the toys, all that fun stuff. I have my tummy time course on my website now. So you guys can definitely check that out along with like lots of different free resources on my website. So just when you're scrolling at 2 in the morning, you can check that out. All right, let's see. Oh, man, I made a lot of mistakes trying to sleep train my, oh, hold on. Come on, baby. Hey. All right, we got our special guest here. All right, so I've made a lot of mistakes, and that's just something I kind of wanted to share with the class so that you guys can make these mistakes or save yourself from these mistakes. But you wake up in the middle of the night, you're tired, you're recovering from C-section or a, regular birth. You're tired, you're so tired, and you just got to drink caffeine to make it through. But the problem is if you drink too much caffeine, it gets into your breast milk and gets to baby. And even if you're nursing and you're drinking too much caffeine, that's going to affect your hormones in some way. So try to limit your caffeine. That's something that I'm not good at, and I will say it straight out. I love coffee so much. And I'm probably a coffee addict, and that's probably why he didn't sleep so much for a while. And now I'm weaned pretty much. I only nurse him at night. He's over a year. But that's probably another reason why he didn't sleep so good. And like I said, I am a pediatric physical therapist. I will teach your kid how to roll, crawl, walk, sleep. This is just like an educational thing of the things that I've learned. You can take the information, you can leave the information, whatever you want to do. It's just here for you. Okay. Another mistake, late nap. Try to really hold them off if they're going to sleep like around that 4, 5. They take their last nap around 2, 3, and then you feed them at 4. You play till 7. You feed them again, and then it's night time for the night. And I'm talking like this is like over a 3-month-old baby. The newborns, my 4th trimester moms who watch this, like kind of all bets are off. You could try to build routine, but it's gonna be hard. Okay, yeah, and then getting overtired too. So it's like, yesterday I get home from work and this baby didn't sleep all day. By the time I got to him, he was so overtired, I couldn't prevent the late nap. He napped at 5, but at the same time, it is what it is because I had to have him eat and then go to sleep. So you got to kind of figure out what works for you. What else we got? Information, little bud. Oh, and then make sure you burp them after you feed them because they could have some gas pain that wakes them up. All right, so we talked about general sleep training. We talked about routine during the day. We talked about routine at night. We talked about daytime play windows. We talked about things to do or not do in the middle of the night that's going to wake them up or keep them sleeping. We talked about the mistakes that I've made. I'm sure there's a few more out there. I want to talk about sleep aids, and then I'm going to answer a few questions, and then I'm going to open up to Q&A. All right, so sleep aids. I'm talking Binky. I'm talking swaddles. I'm talking anything that keeps baby sleeping. That's like something external. So if you give your baby a binky and they're really good with the binky, that's great. It keeps them sleeping all night. But just so you know, when you take that binky away, they're going to have a sleep regression. Same thing with the swaddles. When you stop swaddling, they're going to wake up more because the swaddle holds them here and then they can't move. So if they're held here, that's great. But they have these reactions they have to work through. And the swaddle prevents those reactions from facilitating and from integrating. So once you take the swaddle off, they're gonna be like, woo. All right. So keep that in mind that when you take the swaddles off, you're gonna have a sleep regression. All right. Oh, things like the Merlin suit and the snoo that was like, I feel like those things just keep baby like, you stay here, don't move. Sometimes you need it. Like if your baby's really fussy and colicky and all those things, like you need to get what you got to get. Fine. But just, when you take those things away, you're gonna have a sleep regression. And yeah, just tips also sleep when baby sleeps, okay? Because it's tough. Like you got to get your rest. You got to heal too yourself. All right, let's answer my IG questions and then we'll get into other questions that anybody may have. Okay. Let me see. Here we go. Okay, so one question I got was, what's the best way to help with congestion since they can't use pillows yet to elevate them? So it's like flu and cold and whatever season, like the babies are gonna get sick, unfortunately. Yes, I know what that's like. You're not supposed to put anything in the crib these days, part of the SIDS prevention, and also with back sleeping. By the way, another tip, an hour of tummy time a day to offset the back to sleep campaign. All right. Not an hour at a time. You could separate it up, but an hour a day. One of the things that I've heard you can do is you can take like a towel, roll it up and put it underneath the mattress so that I have this board. I don't know what this is here, but if this is the mattress, you take the towel roll. What do I have around here? Pencil case. All right, take the towel roll, pretend this is a towel roll, put it underneath here. So it's more like this. You could also take like textbooks and put them underneath the crib on the one side to lift and elevate this way. Prone sleeping, if baby can roll, I tell people I'm okay with baby sleeping on their bellies if they're able to roll independently in both ways. When baby comes out of the womb, they're able to lift their heads and find a better oxygen source. That should be standard. Okay. I mean, if you have a NICU baby, if you have a baby who was taken early for whatever reason, maybe you want to extra check on that. But when baby comes out of the womb, they're supposed to be able to lift, find a better oxygen source. I just took a continuing education course on that. But really, I tell people like if baby's able to roll, then you can sleep them on their sides or their bellies, and they might sleep better that way. Or do some tummy time, try to get everything to come out with gravity. Okay, how can I get my FOMO, fear of missing out baby, to nap more than 20 minutes? Oh, okay, so I had to ask mom how old baby was. 7 weeks. When baby's in that 4th trimester, especially that 1-2 month phase, they don't realize they are their own person. All they know is mom and dad, maybe another caregiver that comes in a lot. But they were in your room for 9-10 months, right? They feel safe there. They feel comfortable. They know your smells. They know the way you move. They know your voice. They feel safe on you. And just evolutionarily, is that a word? Through evolution. Okay, you know what I mean. Babies to survive need us. So they want to be on you at all times. They want to be held, fed, changed, and they feel safe. So what are they going to do when you put them down? Sometimes they're going to cry. And that is totally fine. That is typical developing baby to cry if you put them down sometimes. That being said, the foundation of movement starts when they come out of the womb. So establishing fun and safe tummy time, fun and safe floor play time starts now. So if your baby's crying every time you put them on the ground, or they cry every time you leave the room, that is normal, but you can edit the way that they act when you put them down by changing some of the things you do. For example, you put them down, you sit down next to them, you lay down next to them, you look at each other, tummy time, one on one. Okay, you get down on the floor and you play with them and promote some independent play with the toys that you have. Now, at 7 weeks, baby's probably not playing by themselves, but establishing those routines, right? Like routines we talked about before. Eat, sit upright for a few minutes, let everything digest. Okay, and then you do your floor time. And if you want more information, it's on my tummy time course. But pretty much like you want to establish that independent play, or start it really like from the get-go, you know? So fear of missing out baby. And also there's a time, like I think all babies kind of go through this between like 6 and 8 weeks. All the moms that come to my class talk about how they have like a witching hour. But like for me, my kids, the witching hour was like all hours of the day and at some points. And sometimes they're also their bodies, like they come out of the womb, they're not like they can't just eat a steak, right? They have to develop their muscles, their GI systems, their neurological systems. Everything is still developing after. So I forgot where I was going with this. Building a solid foundation and a solid core is kind of like it starts from the beginning, and also letting them kind of explore their environment. This is where we live. You can even hold them and walk around your space. This is the kitchen. This is the bedroom. This is the this. Let's look in the mirror. Let's look at this toy. Let's look at this rattle. Let's talking to them while you put them down, staying near them while you put them down so they still hear you, they still smell you, they still see you, but they know that the floor is a safe place. It's totally fine. Okay, and then I had one other question here. Naps are hard. Okay, so the routine, the nighttime routine I talked about earlier, you can also do that every time you nap them. So you you eat, you play, you go to put them down, and you put their like I'm not a fan of swaddles. I didn't swaddle my last two at all, actually, because I swaddled the first, and then when I took the swaddle away, it was like complete sleep regression. I said, "Oh, forget it, I'm not even doing it." And also, when you have more than one kid, you're so stretched. Um, but with routines like building naps and stuff, I would just do the same routine at nap time and at bedtime. So like you go upstairs, you put on the onesie, you sing a song, you dim the lights, you hold a little bit, you put the sound machine on. I'm not really big a fan of sound machines either, but honestly, I'm also someone who can't sleep without the fan, so I guess I am a fan of sound machines. Is this one shoulder like look like dating me? Okay. I think that's all we got for today. I wish more people were here, but it is what it is. And hopefully everybody's here next week for feeding. Okay. Bye, everybody.